Howdy, it's the second half of our week 6 fiddle course for summer 2020, and I could belabor the tune further for another half hour, but why? Why not just learn another tune? You got plenty of time to work on it at your leisure, and I don't really think there's a whole lot to be added to Blackberry Blossom. I mean, unless you want to go for the real authentic version, you can find it on YouTube, I imagine. So instead, I thought we'd keep up with the banjos a little bit and this is one that they learned last week. They're learning 2 tunes per week, so sometimes 3 because there's sometimes simpler banjo versions. This is from the Hilltoppers, another Tennessee tune. This is Lil Gal'll Fool Me. I've heard it called Lil Gal'll Fool You sometimes also. It's from the Roan Mountain Hilltoppers. So it's in the key of D, and it's just because Blackberry Blossom is kind of challenging. So this might be something that you could actually learn in one sitting without a lot of extra fingerings. And then next week we'll learn another slow. For week 7 we'll have another slow tune, so you can kind of incubate on all the up tempo stuff we've got. But we've got some dotted 8th note stuff here. So I've got a parentheses here. I'm going to show you how that goes. There we go. That's what we got. So I've got a little slur parentheses AF. So that's on the up bow. Down, up, down. So we have down, up, down, up, down, up. Ending with up. I did an extra little fingering there, but same bow strokes. Then we have a C sharp. And it's nice to hit that E with it because it really signifies the A chord. And so I'm just striking 2 A's in a row, 16th. You just start going into 16th note bowing. So we got our bow strokes are dot, dot, 16th, 16th, 8th, 8th. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So we really would have there's an 8th note rest after that. So that's all there is to that, but it's a lot of fun too. It's a lot of fun and good for the guitar players too, because it's got a very I would say transparent, or it's very evident what the guitar part is. We have like D chord here, and we have A here, and back to D here. I'll go ahead and write the chords for the second part. D to G, and then sometimes there's a quick parentheses A there, but I just think all D is fine for me. Some people, even in the original band, the original Hilltoppers, they used an A there. I don't use the A myself because it's really actually arpeggiating a D chord, A, F sharp, D. So it sounds a little contrary to using A there. So they're doing kind of a bob and cabbage chords, D, G, A. I just D, G, D, quick A implied afterwards. So you can hash that out with your guitar player. But that was so fast for the A part. Let's just do the B part now. So this starts with open A, by the way, since you can't tell the register in my system. So I can slur this. You don't have to. it'll make a nice, just eighth note bowing throughout. So but then you can double bow these if you want a little more energy. So I could make this into 16th notes. I could probably get more 16th notes. That's in essence is to get to this B G here. Same kind of ending. Da 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 da. So. Oh, this would actually be a way high A. Sorry, this is going to go way up high. Let's actually write that a little bit so you can see the register. This is low A, see? Open A, rather. Bam, bam, bam. And let's make this in a different figure. So that would be way high up here. Let's just make the same ending. This is the same. That'll make it. This little thing right here, this module here, is just going to come down here. Same thing. But it's high. So let's see. These are the high A's, high F's above that D in the second upper octave there. So this is one of those tunes where individual notes aren't critical. It's more about the flavor. So we're just coming down like a soldier's joy. So if you just go up to your ring finger and just start double bow, taka taka ta ta, down up down up down up. I can scale it up a little bit. Some people scale it up. The original Hilltoppers, I knew them pretty well, especially the second generation. Just passed away. Bill Birchfield just passed away about 5 years ago, and he was the son of Joe Birchfield, who was the old guy. He was old as far as I've seen pictures of him back in the 60s and 70s. He looked about the same. He always looked like he was ancient, and he never changed. But I knew him back in I didn't know him personally, but I mean, I remember sitting around at festivals and thinking, this is the real deal here. Looked like Jed Clampett, just a kind of an old mountain man with a mustache. And you can probably find pictures of him online. I think there's some videos of him online. He was kind of an old scratchy rhythm fiddler. But this is one of his tunes. I say one of his tunes that one of their family tunes that I don't know where it comes from. You can even start doubling your bow here if you want. See, that's double the whole way. So as long as you start doubling your bow when you get to the end. Actually, you kind of need to double that, otherwise you need to pick your bow up. So let's make this a double. I sometimes will hit an open E. I hate to say what note it is, but I will sometimes, as on my way over, I'll kind of just play drag across my middle A. I'm starting to play. I'm just doubling. Very hard to notate. Very easy to do. I'm going to just say this is connected to a 16th. This is a 16th note, and we're going to play something with like this A and this E together. We're just going to drag across here. So this is a 16th note. It looks complicated to look. It's complicated to look at, but a lot of times you see those things in fiddle books, and they'll show the drones and everything with the tune. It's like it looks like all ink. This is amazing how many notes there are going on when you try to write out the actual. There's some people like I think there's a book that by Marion Thebes it's got very well written, very well documented, but it has all the drones and all the little wickabos in there, and it's like it's really dense to read if you haven't sight read it. But if you think about it simplistically and just start moving your bow, that's really all you have to do. So in this one, I'm just dragging into this 16th notes. I can even hit this. I can even hit a D up there. Here's a little bonus note. You can go. So any of those ways to execute that. The important thing is to get to this BG. That's the important information. So when I hit this D, think about it double. So again, this is our same da 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 da. So dun da dun da 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 da. And then this ends on an up bow. You can see. If you count that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's down, up. If you have even numbers, it's going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All the even strokes are going to be up, as long as you're not slurring. You can get creative with this very easily. This is the work in progress that you can just have fun with. You can add more and more fiddly things in there. So let's put these. Let's do one B part one more time. 2 B part, ready, go. And I think I hear things like something like that. So that suggests it gets the E when you sound the E. You start dragging your bow across the open strings, the E just sounds out. And then you can hammer into this one. I can hammer into this D early, and it makes an extra note. Even though I'm 8th note bowing, 16th note fingering comes in. So this is we'll call that a little orange thing. I can hammer into a D early like this. In other words, I'll put a hammer, our symbol for hammer, into this D, another D here. That would be a 16th. And that's a really common thing that I do and I hear a lot. So it'd be. But I went wrong bow direction. So our regular bowing is. right? It's down, up, down, up. So I just while I'm bowing the E, I just come into my D during my downstroke, and it sounds like it's a da 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 da, but that's just a hammering finger, and so I can do it on this end. See? So you get the little free notes by working your left hand a little bit. Okay, let's try putting this tune together. It only took about 15 minutes to kind of learn it in one sitting as far as navigating through. And this is pretty close to like what I showed the banjo. I teach the banjos. I'll do it on the fiddle, and then of course we'll extract a banjo version out of it, because a lot of times you can get more on a banjo than the fiddle does with less effort. But then again, there's things that the fiddle can do. Every instrument's got their strengths, and then you don't want to just always mimic the fiddle on a banjo or vice versa. So here we go. Let's try our A and a B part together. Let's see. Again, if it's a moderate medium, it's easier than very, 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 very slow is not advised if you can help it. After you've got the note order and the timing, then try to play it at least start 70, 80 beats a minute. So like two ticka 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 toe. Let's time out, because really fun to go hammer into that, right? I guess. So I'm starting to get some of the conventions that we usually. So we can hammer from a B natural. We can hammer a little B slur right here. Let's move that bar over so we can fit it. So we got a little B natural here slurred into it. I'm just going to include it because it's in the same bow stroke. So just think of it, instead of writing the note value, I want you to think about these notes, because that's your bowing. I don't want you to stray from your dotted note bowing. This is just a little bonus left hand hammer. So I'm going to put a H here. We often have a hammer, and then we'll swoop on the second dotted eighth. If I was to swoop, it'll probably sound cool. It's a pretty good convention. I could do that, but it's not usually in the character of this tune to call for that. Oh, let's put our bar line back in. Got a big measure there. There's our 4 beats. And we can get our little hammer on there. And this exact same ending. So you can do that hammer any one of those places. 2, ready, go. Started doing some of my other little usual treatment on a tune like this. More hammer-ons. I think I actually hammered into the first note. I could even do this extra note and hammer it. See, I addressed both of these with the open E first. And then the drone kind of camouflages, but EF. I addressed this one. So it's this one. It was this one was the second one. I did not this one. This one's already got too much going on. So this was I hammered here and I hammered here, the first and the third. Hammer, pull off. Now this is kind of cool, is to pull off of this on the long G. You have this long note here going, you can just. So now if we do it this bowing. Now so what I did was I kept my fingering into this bar, or up until just about here, just to the point. Now I've just kept that fingering, and I just, maybe just a little millisecond before this, just a little bit before the bar, I kind of, and then opened it up to the A, see? And you get a little extra bonus action there. So those are all little things that you start doing by accident. You'll go like, hey, I had an extra note in there. I didn't play that. Oh, yes, I did. I was just late getting there. And you hear that other fingering sound again, and it's like, oh, just keep that. Or maybe you let off early before the bow, and you get that movement on the previous bow stroke, and then hit it again. And so then you're doubling the notes by working the left hand in the midst of bowing, in the midst of a single bow. So you're ending up inadvertently or intentionally slurring and getting extra notes. So that's just a general technique. That's why I don't like to just dictate like a dense version. Just play it simple and then just start building up little things. Same thing we do with it. I like to do with any instrument. Just learn an essential version and then kind of build it up. Add some of your conventions in there. So let's do it again and pay attention that we'll try to drone a little bit and maybe get some of those little micro vocalizations. Just to see how it sounds. And we're going to hammer into the C sharp. There it is. And then wherever is natural, wherever you think. Usually the first note of a phrase, especially after a long bow or a rest, you can have something that draws attention, puts a little emphasis on the beginning of that phrase. Could be a little micro slide, a hammer, and don't forget dynamics and pulsing. So here we go. So let's try to add. This is a really good tune to try to work on your pulse, work on your metronomic accents. So if I was going to add those in there, of course you don't metronome while you're doing a syncopation. You only bring it back in. I mean, you can do it. It can be done with crescendos, little swells and things like that. But until you're really grounded in the system, you want to just, like all these notes should be struck. Every other eighth note should be accented on. That's on the upbeats. So here it would sound something like this. So even on this, see, I did one of those little crescendos on that quarter note because there's a quarter note's long enough. So this is a sure enough accent here on this E. So if you have to go through if you have to write it out, or some whatever in your notation to write out which ones that you want to. I don't want to show the accents on here because it's implied on every tune that you do that's a dance tune. But if you just take any tune that you've been working on, probably better one you already know, and go back and I'm bored with that tune. Never be bored with the tune. You could always add more refinement to your version. Go back and look at my original 5-point checklists of things to do. I think I did that. I think it was on that workshop back with the Boeing workshop. But the 5 checklist of 5 different things of drones and self harmony and left hand techniques, pull offs, hammer ons, slides, accenting, pulsing on the 8th notes, dynamics, and those and little vocalizations. All those things are what makes makes it authentic folk fiddling. So let's see how we would accent the B part. So the F sharp, immediately you want to spike that, and then this is A. So these little double bow A's, you can hit both of those. And the E. So the A and the E are both on the upbeats. 1 and 2 ta and ta do and So always boom bop boom bop boom bop. So anything that's a and, anything that's a halfway between the 2 whole note downbeats. So it's exactly what the guitar when the guitar strikes the chord in its usual place. Boom chuck boom chuck. So these are the chucks. So okay, let's put it together one more time, and here we go. Let's do it pretty much. That I don't think it needs to be any faster than that, but let's at least do it. Let's try a couple times through for those of you that want to at least play along with it at that speed. So this second point is a very, very often heard fiddle phrase in Scots Irish tunes, English tunes, and other tunes I could mention. Cutting at the point. An old tune called "Jump Jim Crow," which we like to call, in honor of Congressman Lewis, we'll call it "Dump Jim Crow." But it's almost identical to this melody here. So, Lil Gal'll Fool Me or fool you, but I hope this tune hasn't fooled you too much. It's pretty easy to grasp and fun to play, and so I look forward to, as always, getting together some Sunday or Saturday or Sunday and run through our tunes. Maybe towards the end of the term we can get together and play all our tunes, and I can play guitar and banjo for you. And we could invite some of the banjos since we know some tunes together. I might try to, since the banjo is going to be taught next term again this fall, we'll have some more crossover tunes with them. And it's good to have some local musicians that can play together on some of this stuff. Okay, all right. Well, I hope you enjoy our two tune bonus lesson, and catch you next time for week 7.